I think he's going to like it. Eddie House, former Boston Celtics stud, superstar shooter. Looks like he's still nursing because I'm late night celebrating. Look at, he's wearing a Celtics championship shirt. How you doing, Eddie?
Good, man. Fantastic. Happy 4th to everybody.
Happy 4th to you as well. All right, so I have Jason Tatum as the 4th best player in the NBA. He didn't even win Finals MVP. I'm still a little surprised by it. Where are you on Tatum, Eddie?
I want to know what they put in your coffee. Because this list is crazy right here. I'm looking at, you got Luka number 1. You can't have a guy who plays no defense number 1, who got exposed defensively in all of the playoffs this year. Yeah, is he a great offensive talent? But when we start talking about the best player in the league, we got to give some effort on the defensive end. So I got to move him out of there. Jokic at number 1 for sure. I'm okay with Giannis. Jason Tatum, I think, is in the right spot. Steph is cool. Shea can move up a little bit, possibly. Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, they still got a lot to prove. I just can't believe you don't have Jaylen Brown on this list.
You think you'd have 2 Celtics in the top 10?
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you? Jaylen Brown, if you watch the playoffs, who did Jaylen Brown guard? Everybody, right? He guarded Luka. What did Luka do? Turn the ball over. What did he do? He guarded Kyrie. What Kyrie do? Turn the ball over and struggle. There was one game in particular, I was calling a game in New Orleans, and Zion came out in the first quarter and had like 8 quick points. I'm talking about like with 7 minutes left on the clock in the first quarter, he had about 8 points. Jaylen Brown switched over to him. He ends up having 4 turnovers, and I think he only finished with like 15 points. So Jaylen Brown could guard anybody on the perimeter. He could go down and guard bigs. He was so mad that he didn't make all NBA defense. That's probably the thing that spurred this success that he had throughout the playoff, because he felt like he got shortchanged, and he did. So to not have him on the list and have, Jalen Brunson, which had a great 2 weeks in the playoffs and a really good season, and then Joel Embiid, number 10, who never can get out the second round, who constantly is injured, I can't trust that.
Okay, I'm with you on Embiid. So, by the way, the Celtics are bringing back, I think, everybody, like their top 7 in the rotation. That's pretty scary. Is a repeat in the cards, or is that just too much to ask of this squad?
I don't think it's too much to ask. Think about it. This is a young group, a hungry group. The coach is young. The coach is hungry. I think the ownership done a fantastic job on the way they staggered the contracts. So they're not going to hit until 2 years from now. So they're not going to have to worry about that second apron until 2 years from now, because the way that they staggered the contracts, which is a great job by management. So there's a window here with everybody staying healthy to where they can make another 2-year run at trying to win a championship. And I think that's usually what happens to teams that win championships. They get some of their best players plucked off of there. Like, look at what happened with Denver. Bruce Brown and Jeff Green, they get plucked off the team. They were big-time players in those moments, key role players for them in that championship run. And so I think when you look at what the Celtics are able to do, and that's keep everybody under contract, stagger it. I mean, they did a great job, upper management doing a great job. And it looks like they're trying to go ahead and sell it before they have to hit those big tax numbers in that second apron.
Yeah. So who's the biggest competition for the Celtics in the East, Eddie?
Themselves. And I say that with all due respect to every other team. But when you come back with this same team and think about how far ahead they were in the Western, I think 14 games in the Eastern Conference, and by far the best record in the NBA, and you bring in all of that back. Of course, KP is going to be injured for the beginning of the year, but we want him for the end and not really the beginning. So just to be able to tie everybody up and everybody comes in knowing their role, number one, knowing exactly what kind of minutes they're going to get, and knowing that they trust each other. That's already the biggest hurdle that's the biggest hurdles you got to get over when you come up after you win it. You come with a new team. Some guys leave, some new guys come in, and it's trying to get that chemistry over again. But I don't think that's going to be the issue with the Celtics.
All right, let me reframe it. Who's a bigger challenge to the Celtics? The 76ers adding Paul George or the Knicks adding Mikal Bridges?
I will go with the Sixers for this reason, that their big three play totally different. They won't be stepping on each other's toes at all. Like, the way Paul George plays is different from Maxey and Embiid. The way Embiid plays is different from George and Maxey. I think if Philly is able to realize that this is Tyrese Maxey's team and go ahead and hand him the keys to the team, I think they'll be better off where nobody's trying to figure out whose team it is. As talented as Joel Embiid is, as good as he is on both ends of the court, the best ability is availability, and he's not available. You can't trust him to be available all throughout the season, and especially in the playoffs. We've seen it this past playoffs. Running around on one leg, I give him all the credit for going out there and trying, but he just wasn't 100% healthy. And I think Paul George at this point is just looking to win. A good pickup for them because it adds perimeter defense to him. And that's what they're going to be trying to stop the perimeter offense of the Celtics with Brown and Tatum. So I think it's a good fit for them. But they got to realize that Tyrese Maxey is the guy on that squad.
Tyrese Maxey's team. That's a bit surprising to hear. But let me ask you this. You've seen a lot of big threes. Somebody always has to sacrifice their game, Eddie. Somebody's got to step back, whether it's Chris Bosh, Kevin Love. When the Warriors got Kevin Durant, Klay had to take a little bit of fewer shots. Who's the guy who steps back here? Is it Paul George, who just got $50 million a year? He's going to step back?
Yeah, I think he could try to focus a little bit more on defense. The offense is going to come. He's going to get them opportunities. He's going to get looks. Really, for them, it's really about their defense. I like how they kept Kelly Oubre. So now they got a perimeter defender in Oubre, a really good two-way player, a great two-way player in Paul George. And so I think he's going to have to be the guy that kind of sets the tone defensively and get in where he fit in. He's a guy that gets steals. So you get some extra passes here and there. You're going to have plays ran for you. But Tyrese Maxey is the key to that basketball team. I watched them play a grip of games last year. I watched them play throughout the playoffs, and it seemed like as Maxey was going, that team had a better opportunity to win. Interesting.
All right, let's go to the West. Obviously, the Lakers are a big story, but we'll get to them in a second. I want to start with the Klay Thompson departure from the Warriors. Tearing down a dynasty is really difficult. Nobody wants to be that hatchet guy, but Klay's now gone. The Warriors, I think you'd agree, Eddie, losing Chris Paul and Klay Thompson and the guys they replaced him with, they're a play-in team at best in the loaded West. I don't know. Does this kind of reshape the way you view the Warriors and the Splash Brothers? Does this hurt you at all to watch them kind of split apart these guys?
It's unfortunate for Klay. I don't like how Klay got short end of the stick in this whole deal. And he rightfully so to feel disrespected and feel like, he wasn't appreciated. Because think about when they were making their runs, Klay was huge. Why he got the nickname Game 6 Klay for a reason, because he showed up in Game 6 and would ball out and they would end up winning championships. I think that when you look at what the Warriors done, Bob Myers kind of sniffed it out and got out before the house started burning down. But you could see that when they got rid of Wiseman, and I know that he kind of didn't fit, but you were mortgaging your future for right now. And they got the championship in 2022, but now look at where they're at and where they're standing now. They're going to be Clayless. And I think when you sign Jordan Poole to a huge deal, and then the very next year you get rid of him, and it wasn't because of something he did on the court or off the court, it was something that was done to him in the practice facility, the reason that caused a divide in the locker room. So they made their bed. They basically said, hey, it's a Steph and Draymond's team. We're rolling with that. They signed Andrew Wiggins to a $100 million deal. Everybody's still looking for him. It's an APB out on Andrew Wiggins. We don't know where he's at. And so when you make those mistakes, it's hard to come back from those. And I'm happy for Klay. I think he needs a new scenery, a breath of fresh air for him, put on a new jersey, a different environment. He's going to help them offensively right away. It's just defensively, how good can he be? Because the other two guys, we already know they have limitations defensively.
Yeah. So you were obviously at every finals game watching closely, and the Mavs offense, they had nothing. They barely could top 100 points, I think, once in the series. Klay Thompson gives them more offense. They will lose a little bit on defense, but this seems like a good trade-off. Would you have the Mavs first in the West?
I wouldn't put them first in the West. I still think you got to look at the Minnesotas. You got to see what Denver does. We got to also remember OKC is coming. OKC adding Hardenstein was exactly what they needed. They needed a little bit more size, a little bit more physicality in the paint, a presence in the paint. And that's something that Chet wasn't able to bring because he's young and still kind of slight. But I think Hardenstein will bring that to OKC. That's a team that I'm going to be watching damn near every game if I can, if it's not clashing with what I have to do with work. But they're a very interesting basketball team.
Let's get to the Lakers. JJ Redick got to the podium this week, was asked about Bronny, and he said, Bronny has earned this, and everybody lost their minds. What do you mean? The guy started 6 games. He averaged 4.8 points per game. What do you mean earn? He didn't earn anything. But I don't know. Telling white lies is not the end of the world. I know you've got 2 sons. You got the twins who are on the come up. Great young players. Like these guys they're teenagers, right? Like Bronny hasn't obviously earned it yet, but the chances there thanks to his dad, right? That's a fair to say.
Yeah, we could all say that. First off, Redick didn't have to say that. He could have just kept that to himself. And hey, this is our driving motivation to make you be the best you can. Because what the Lakers are not going to let Bronny fail. They're going to do everything they can do in their power to make him succeed. That's the reason why they drafted him at 55. And I think when Redick talked about he earned it, he didn't have to say that because everybody's eyes are saying that LeBron dictated this. He controlled this whole move. And so did Rich Paul, and everybody's saying don't draft him. If you draft him, he's not coming. And that basically controlled that narrative, right? But whatever you do in college, that's where you earn to get drafted. And can we say that he did enough? Well, maybe not enough to be number one or a first round pick, but let's not forget he's the 55th pick. We're making a big deal over the 55th pick. That's at the end of the draft. And so if they want to take a chance on a project and want to work him out, then okay, cool. Go ahead and do it. But every rookie has to earn it once they get drafted. So it's something else you got to earn now. So let's see if Bronny goes out there and earns minutes or earns the respect of everybody around the league. I think he has it within that locker room because he's been around the Lakers. So he knows all these guys. He knows upper management. It almost feels like family or extended family to him. So I think he'll be comfortable in this transition. It's just a matter of, does he develop? And I believe that the Lakers are going to do everything they can to develop him.
You played with LeBron. I don't know how often you guys talk, but I'm just curious, your thoughts on LeBron as he gets a new 2-year, $104 million max deal. He said he was going to take less, Eddie. Lakers could not come through with Klay or Valanciunas or Harden, and now LeBron gets his max deal. Where do you think he is here heading into year, 54 in the league? The guy's still one of the best players in the NBA, but it does feel like he's definitely close to the end, right?
Yeah, he's closer to the end than he is anywhere else. But he didn't show that many signs of slowing down last year. He still played at an extremely high level. And like you said, still considered one of the top players in the NBA at his age. And I think that he does see that it's coming to a near, but he's also, with this deal, giving himself an option to where if this 1 year don't work there, maybe he could slide somewhere else, sign another little a 2-year deal, and if he plays well, and he's betting on himself. I mean, he's always bet on himself, and he always came out on top. So I just don't know where the Lakers stand in all this. The Lakers look like they're a play-in team at best.
At best. I mean, they won 47 last year, Eddie.
They were a play-in team last year.
Yeah, I know, but somebody's going to fall off.
And the year before.
Clippers are falling back. You know that, right? They were 4, I think.
But they weren't they a play-in team the year before? So the last 2 years with these guys, they've been play-in teams. So what makes you think that they're all of a sudden going to make a big jump when everybody's getting older? The team is not getting any better. I just see them in the same place that they've been the last couple of years.
Well, that leads me to J.J. Redick, who, some view that Darvin Ham's rotations were terrible last year. He wasn't a leader in the huddle. He was, there's the reports that he was not prepared. Redick is LeBron's guy from podcasting. Redick seems very excited for this. Like, he wanted the Lakers job. A lot of people said this is not a good job. He actively sought after it and wanted it. And maybe he's worth 4 or 5 games in the win column. I don't know. Where are you on Redick? Do you know him well at all?
I don't know him well. I do know this, that it's very easy when you have the best player on the team that's vouching for you. So you have some sort of job security in that regard. Now, as far as J.J. Redick, he doesn't have any coaching experience. I know some coaches that come right in and don't have coaching experience. Not like this. They usually are on the bench somewhere, or they've been in upper management. They've been around the game as opposed to, just coming fresh off. And, all the best to JJ. But just because you get these stats from people and you regurgitate them on TV, I don't make you see that. To me, that don't make you smart. That makes you sound like you can regurgitate some numbers that somebody gave you. Now, when we get in the huddle, is he going to be able to draw up the play at the split second? He's going to make that split second decision. These are all things that go into coaching. All those numbers and stuff like that, you can have them and sound good when you're talking about it. But when you get in those trenches, all that goes out the window. It becomes a field game. It becomes a rhythm game. It becomes a trust game. And that's what he's going to have to earn, I think, not only from the players, but I think everybody that's watching this.
Oh, that's good stuff, Eddie House. Thanks for your time, Eddie. Have a great July 4th. Congrats on your Celtics winning the chip, and be safe out there, buddy.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.